I hear this consistently. I know, I'm not sure. I'm feeling this way, but I don't know. My mind says this. Your mind will always give you the answer for what it is you're looking for. So if you're focused on a problem, you're going to find more problems with the situation. When you're focused on finding a solution, you find a solution. When you go into the YouTube search bar or when you go into Google, you're asking for what it is you want. I want to know how to stop being depressed. I want to know what's the latest update on COVID. Help me make more money. How do I grow my social media? Right? You're looking for an answer. Your inner guidance, your inner voice, your gut feeling knows this answer before you're aware of it. So your body is your barometer. It's day 2 in my book, Trusting Your Intuition, Discover Your Superpower 10 Days. Right now, we are given an opportunity. If you look at the world is working in your favor, right? If you look at it that it's working in your favor, what would that be? How would it be working for you in your favor? Well, maybe it's time for a career change. Maybe you realize you really actually liked spending more time home. Maybe you realized you have a passion that you have yet to develop, and you discovered that this year in 2020. Maybe you're realizing that you really have been putting off taking care of your health. Maybe you realized you actually saw a difference in your children when they were at home, that it was a positive change, that you realized, like one of the friends that was talking to me, she's a nurse, her husband is a doctor, and they're saying their children have never been healthier in these past 6 months than when they were at school, because everyone has always got something at school. So maybe you're just noticing things differently. If I look at this year, all I see is an opportunity for people to come back in here, to trust your gut, your inner voice, your intuition, your inner guidance, because the whole world has an opinion. And we're even utilizing, the media is utilizing other people to affect you in the way you're feeling about what's feeling true for you. So if you needed someone to say to you today, trust your gut, like I called the bank yesterday and I already knew the answer to the question, but I felt guided to call, and I waited for a phone appointment. The person called me back and I said, I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you the question anyways, because I'm guided to ask you the question. And she gave me the answer I was looking for. And then her next response was, well, what is it that you do? And I said, well, I help people trust their inner guidance so they can truly believe that they can have their heart's desires and be in that. And she's like, oh my gosh, I so needed to hear that today. And that is as simple as life can be, is when you're in touch with where you're guided to go and you trust the greater process because you know where you're guided to go is the right place for you, you realize there's a ripple effect always. And my job isn't to know what everything's going on. My job is to know what I'm doing. And I know that everybody else has got the same benefits. It's like another friend of mine in the inner guidance group shared how she was guided to take her cell phone with her, which she never did. And because she was guided to do that, she had a completely different experience because she had the phone when somebody needed help and she called and was able to help that person. And she was chuffed that she followed. She had learned so much about her inner guidance and worked with me so much that she was at that point where she followed. She knew the difference between what her inner gut was and what her mind was always at her at, and so many different things. She could now sense the differences. And in that difference, she was able to help a friend. And that made her feel so wonderful. And her friend felt so good. That's what following your inner guidance is. My inner guidance will always keep me healthy. My body's designed to be healthy. My nose runs because it's healthy. I cough because there's something to get out. And sometimes that's just hot air, right? I mean, I heard someone say they used to fart in order to they used to cough in order to cover up their fart. And now they fart to cover up their cough. You know, life can be very amusing if you look at it that way. Life can be very fun if you look at it that way. And life is full of solutions if you look at it that way. If you're always wanting to be in control and you're always wanting to be right, that can be a very difficult life because you're never going to know all the answers. You're still operating on like an old IBM PC computer from the 80s with the floppies, working on your subconscious, thinking you got to reprogram that. And you, in essence, you don't have to go back in time and do all the inner child work and figure out why you have that habit. Is it my mom's? Is it my dad? It was because this happened to me. Oh my gosh. No, it's like just as you get the software update on your phone, just as you do the system update on your computer, you have to choose to accept the terms and conditions when you do the upgrade, which you might lose some of the data that you've had before if you're choosing to upgrade. And that's what I love doing, is I call it a heart reset. I help people reset, upgrade, so that their heart, their inner guidance, is overriding their mind. Sometimes it takes, a little bit of malware, a little bit of virus checking that goes on in the computer. Sometimes people's computers are in the shop for a little bit longer, right? Some people, it's just, it's instant. However, everybody is designed to live the life they love, because that's why we're here, to experience what we want to experience. And if you want to experience suffering, like I guess I wanted to sign up and experience suffering for a long part of my life, I did that. I wanted to experience motherhood, I did that. When you get to experience what you want to experience, and when you're saying, okay, I've had enough of that experience, it's like the role is ended. It's like Michael J. Fox stopped being Michael Keaton, or Alex Keaton on Family Ties, and he went on to Back to the Future, and he went on to have a greater career. Every actor moves on to different roles. Some are typecast in the same role. Others, like great actors like Meryl Streep, are always a different character, and you wonder, how does she do it? She embodies that. You can play a different role. You can have a different life. You can choose to do it. You just might need some extra energy where you think you need to get the motivation and you need to do some more work and you need to be inspired. Actually, it's really just simple as getting yourself reset, so the vibe in your heart, the truth of who you really are, shifts and changes. And then you recognize others' stories, other people's stuff. What's going on in the world is different from what you're feeling, and you have the courage, the confidence, and the desire to trust your inner guidance, to trust your gut. And you realize from experience after experience that it works out for you. And then it's like, wow. You learn to turn off the news. You learn to stop listening. You learn to smile and you say, thanks. I appreciate you caring and sharing about what you feel I need to do about my life, but I'm feeling guided to do it this way. And you realize it's okay that everybody has opinions, because in a lot of cases it's because they care, but they care about it in a box, the way they think caring is about to be. They see it the way family is supposed to be. They see it how jobs are supposed to be. They see it how the world is supposed to be. They want to make it very one way or the other. So that world has disappeared now for a lot of us. It's just gone. We've awakened to the concept and the reality of who each of us really is. That we are like a child playing in the world, but with conscious awareness that we really are all taken care of, like a child always felt there, and knowing that we're out here co-creating this beautiful, awesome, best whole new world, as I call it. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, you can follow me here. You can subscribe to the channel. I will go live here once a week. You can find me on Facebook page. You can reach out to my website and book a session with me if you need a heart reset, if you want to be part of my next upcoming group programs, or if you want to follow me on the podcast and Global Party, Healing from the Inside Out, and hear real stories of real people who really have made their transformation, have had their moment of guidance, of shift that had to change in their life, where they learned to overcome and heal from the inside out and help others do the same. Everything is happening perfectly in your favor if you look at it that way. And it's only when you're feeling like it's sandpaper against something that's really getting a little difficult that maybe you need a mentor. Because there's all kinds of programs out there that you can keep doing the work. It's like the the gerbil on the treadmill. You can keep going round and round and round, looking at the same problems and the same situations, going, oh my gosh, isn't this happening to me again? How is this happening again? Why am I having these emotional outbursts? Why am I connected one minute, and this moment I'm like, oh my gosh. There's lots of things that go on, and I've been there. I have 2 daughters that will attest. They'll say, one minute we saw you go live, and the next minute you were snapping at us, and life happens, and you have the experiences, and as you learn from your experiences, you really recognize who you really are, who I really am. And once I knew who I was, it was impossible for me to be something other than I am. So I love and appreciate everybody that I ever come in contact with, because they're an aspect of me. Because I live on planet Earth, and I am part of planet Earth, and planet Earth is me, and everything in it is me. So I am you and you are me. And when you get that concept, it's like the only thing you want to do is love, appreciate, and respect each and every one of us for being the individual expression as you are. Could you imagine taking your finger and saying, you know what, finger, I don't like you, or heart, I don't like you, or liver, I don't like you. And some people have that going on in their health right now. Their whole body is, battling each other, because that's the inner battle going on inside. That's why mental health is such a big thing, is because people are realizing they're in discombobulation. They're feeling connected one moment, they're feeling happy, then they're feeling depressed. It's this coming together and realizing there's 2 sides to the coin. My father was a perfectionist, and he was always right. How does the saying go? I think he said the only time he was wrong was when he thought he was wrong. Yeah, I think that's what he used to say. So that's the paradigm I grew up in, and I grew up in that one because he had 2 perfectionist parents. And so in that one, I went the other way and wanted to experience everything that was so-called wrong. And in this past Father's Day, what I'd said to him is, I am who I am because I had him. He was the gift that I had because it enabled me to see the other side of the coin. So I see the whole coin, where he might see just one side and he wants to make the other side wrong. I see the whole coin. And without both heads and tails on a coin, there isn't a coin. Without having contrast, there isn't the experience. Once you discover the innate order within yourself, it's like you choose naturally more joy, more happiness, more fun, more freedom. You realize, oh, I'm tired of doing this now. I'm going to do something else. It's like when you were a kid, you might be rolling down the hill. You might be playing guns and robbers, whatever it is, and then you go on to play something else. Sometimes there are games you like to play continually. Sometimes there's passions. And other times it's other things you want to do. And it's all okay. So if you have yet to hear someone tell you that I love you, I'm telling you, I love you. And I feel that you are in the perfect place at the perfect time for the perfect moment in your life for you to tap in and tune in and decide what it is you would like to do and move forward. And if you want to do this simple inner guidance tune in with me, I'll do it right now. And you just have to uncross your legs. If you're standing, just make sure that they're little, shoulder width apart. Put your palms up as if you're ready to receive a gift that I'm giving you. And you can just say these words after me. You don't have to quiet your mind like a meditation. Just open up and think of something that brings you joy. And if you've been sad or depressed for a very long time, maybe you need to look out and just go, look, the sun is out there, or the clouds are out there, or I'm breathing. And I'm breathing, and I'm inhaling life, and I'm exhaling stress. And I'm inhaling life, and I'm exhaling sadness. And get to that place where you can start to feel, oh my gosh, I remember a time when I was happy, or I remember that moment when the sunlight hit my face, or I remember when the wind blew through. Oh yes, that was a good moment. And just say this after me. I'm asking for my inner guidance to clearly communicate with me in each and every moment for my highest and best good. And I'm asking to be open to receive this clear communication in each and every moment for my highest and best good. And to take joyful action on it. Thank you. And just notice what you're noticing in your body right now. Do you feel a little calmer? Are there tingling in your hands or your feet? Is there a cold? Is there warmth? Is there some tension in your stomach? Is there a pain in your shoulder that you need to speak out? Any of these things, just say, I release the discomfort. I release the pain. I release this tension. I release the stress. And just breathe in more calm and exhale the stress. And when you're done that simple little tune, and just take your hands to your heart, knowing, just like you did with your cell phone, that you plug your cell phone in to be recharged, that you're recharging your inner guidance, and it's getting stronger each time you charge it, each time you give it attention. And soon you'll have very strong inner guidance, that it's so loud, it's the only thing you can hear, and it's the only thing you can follow. It's like your inner GPS. It's like the car going beep, 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 turn around. So even if you attempt to go past the intersection, attempt to do your own thing, it's still, you're going to hear it so loud, you're going to turn around. That's your superpower. Because when you follow your superpower, you're always going to be in the right place and the right time. You're going to be like me, guided back from Costa Rica before COVID was even named. I was back in my home country, Canada, before the pandemic was declared. And I did it with joy and ease and the most perfect view up the Caribbean of all the islands. So if that was my last flight, it was the most glorious last flight that I've ever had. And I've done a lot of traveling. Okay. And that was like the most perfect of perfect flights, where the people that stood there in Costa Rica and said, why are you going back? That waited, were stressed and struggling and had many, many flights and many, many, many days of worry in order to get them back to where they felt they were safe. So that's the difference between trusting your inner guidance. And if you want to learn more about it, you can go to my website, bestwholenewworld.com. You can get the book there, Trusting Your Intuition, Discover Your Superpower in 10 Days. You can join the Facebook group. There's all kinds of ways that if you want to develop it, you totally and completely can. Many options for every single person. Mwah! I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, because you are me and I am you. And we're all in this together. One big, great body is planet Earth, and each of us a little cell, each of us doing our own thing, each of us a perfect note in the universal symphony of life. So all I can do is have love for you. Have a fabulous day. Mwah.